Welcome back to Days. Today we will uncover one of the most shocking twists that Salem has faced in years, the truth behind who really shot E.J. DiMera, and the elaborate plan Kristen DiMera is already setting in motion to protect her daughter Rachel. For months, fans have speculated about the mysterious shooting that left E.J. fighting for his life. Suspicion has shifted from one Salem resident to another, but now, at long last, the August 19th episode delivered the explosive reveal: Rachel Black was the one holding the gun. Yes, the same Rachel who has grown up in the shadows of her mother Kristen's manipulations and schemes, the same Rachel who has always escaped consequences thanks to her family's influence. And if history has taught us anything, it's that Kristen will go to unimaginable lengths to protect her daughter, even if that means shifting the blame onto someone else entirely. And who better to serve as the perfect scapegoat than Ava Vitali? Let's break down the layers of Kristen's dangerous cover-up and what it means for Salem's future. The August 19th episode of Days of Our Lives delivered a jaw-dropping climax that left viewers reeling. Through Marlena Evans' carefully guided hypnosis session, E.J. DiMera's suppressed memories finally surfaced, revealing the unthinkable truth: little Rachel Black, barely more than a child, had pulled the trigger that nearly ended his life. The flashback sequence painted a chilling picture: Rachel confronting E.J. in her pink bathrobe, demanding answers about her missing grandmother's whereabouts, her small hands trembling as she aimed the weapon with deadly precision. This revelation transforms everything we thought we knew about the DiMera shooting case. For months, speculation swirled around potential suspects, with Johnny DiMera bearing the crushing weight of false accusations. The courtroom drama intensified as evidence mounted against the innocent young man, while the real perpetrator remained hidden behind a veil of childhood innocence and traumatic amnesia. The psychological complexity of this storyline runs deeper than surface-level shock value. Rachel's actions weren't born from random violence but from a twisted sense of justice. She genuinely believed E.J. had made her beloved grandmother disappear forever. In her young mind, the shooting represented righteous vengeance against the man who had torn her family apart. Kristen's maternal instinct transforms into criminal conspiracy. Stacey Hayduke's portrayal of Kristen DiMera has always embodied the fierce, sometimes destructive nature of maternal protection, and this crisis will push those instincts to their absolute limits. Kristen's entire identity revolves around being perceived as a devoted mother, regardless of the morally questionable methods she employs to maintain that facade. Her parenting philosophy, inherited directly from the legendary Stefano DiMera, operates under the dangerous principle that any action can be justified if it serves the family's interests. The moment Kristen learns about Rachel's role in the shooting, her mind will immediately shift into damage control mode. She cannot, and will not, allow her precious daughter to face the harsh realities of juvenile detention or psychological evaluation. The very thought of Rachel being labeled as a dangerous child or potential sociopath would shatter Kristen's carefully constructed maternal image. Drawing from her extensive experience in Salem's criminal underworld, Kristen possesses both the cunning and connections necessary to orchestrate an elaborate cover-up. She understands the legal system's vulnerabilities and knows exactly which strings to pull to redirect suspicion away from Rachel. Her desperation to protect her daughter will override any moral reservations she might have about destroying innocent lives in the process. The perfect scapegoat: Ava Vitali's convenient absence. Ava Vitali's current location in China, visiting her son Trip and his girlfriend Wendy, presents Kristen with an almost too perfect opportunity for misdirection. The geographical distance creates a natural barrier that complicates any immediate investigation, while Ava's tumultuous history in Salem provides ample motive for targeting E.J. Kristen's calculating mind will seize upon this fortuitous timing to weave an intricate web of false evidence and manufactured witnesses. But Kristen's choice of Ava as the fall girl extends far beyond mere convenience. The selection represents a deeply personal vendetta rooted in jealousy and possessiveness over Brady Black. In Kristen's distorted worldview, Brady belongs to her eternally, regardless of his actual feelings or relationship choices. Ava's romantic involvement with Brady represents an unforgivable transgression that demands punishment, making this frame-up serve dual purposes, protecting Rachel while exacting revenge on her romantic rival. The beauty of this strategy lies in its apparent reasonableness. Kristen will present the theory with just enough plausibility to convince even skeptical investigators. She'll emphasize how Ava's violent past makes her a logical suspect, while her absence from Salem prevents immediate contradictory evidence from surfacing. By the time Ava returns to defend herself, Kristen will have already planted seeds of doubt and constructed an seemingly airtight case against her. Rachel's psychological profile, victim or manipulator? The question that haunts viewers and characters alike centers on Rachel's true nature. Is she a traumatized child acting on impulse, or has she inherited the DiMera family's capacity for calculated manipulation? Evidence suggests both possibilities coexist within her complex personality. Her apparent innocence and childlike behavior could mask a surprisingly sophisticated understanding of adult psychology and emotional manipulation. Rachel's history reveals a disturbing pattern of escaping consequences for increasingly serious transgressions. Each incident that goes unpunished reinforces her belief that she exists above normal rules and expectations. This dangerous precedent creates a child who views violence and deception as acceptable tools for achieving her goals, particularly when adults fail to provide the answers or outcomes she desires. The shooting itself demonstrates a chilling level of premeditation. Rachel didn't stumble upon the weapon accidentally, she deliberately sought it out, loaded it, and confronted EJ with deadly intent. Her demand for information about her grandmother's whereabouts suggests she had been planning this confrontation, waiting for the perfect moment to extract the truth through force. This calculated approach indicates a level of strategic thinking that extends far beyond typical childhood behavior. Legal ramifications, juvenile justice versus family protection. The revelation of Rachel's guilt creates an unprecedented legal dilemma that will test Salem's justice system to its core. At her age, Rachel falls into a complex gray area where traditional criminal prosecution becomes extremely complicated. Juvenile detention centers are designed for older children who can comprehend the severity of their actions and participate meaningfully in rehabilitation programs. However, the attempted murder of a prominent district attorney cannot simply be overlooked or dismissed as a childhood mistake. The legal system must balance Rachel's young age and potential for rehabilitation against the serious nature of her crime and the community's need for protection. Mental health evaluations will become crucial in determining whether Rachel can be safely treated within her family environment or requires intensive institutional intervention. EJ himself faces an enormous ethical dilemma as both the victim and a legal professional. His prosecutorial duties conflict directly with his family loyalties, creating an internal struggle between justice and protection. His relationship with Rachel complicates matters further. She is both the child who tried to kill him and his beloved niece who desperately needs guidance and support. The Brady-Kristen dynamic, love, obsession, and manipulation. Brady Black's position in this crisis will prove particularly challenging, as he must navigate between his paternal love for Rachel and his horror at her actions. His relationship with Ava adds another layer of complexity, as Kristen's frame-up attempt directly targets the woman he cares about. This situation will force Brady to confront the reality of Kristen's obsessive behavior and its impact on their daughter's psychological development. Kristen's willingness to destroy Ava demonstrates the toxic nature of her supposed love for Brady. Her actions reveal that she views people as possessions to be controlled rather than individuals with their own agency and rights. This possessive mentality extends to Rachel, whom she sees as an extension of herself rather than a separate person deserving of appropriate consequences for her actions. The power dynamics between Brady and Kristen will shift dramatically as the truth emerges. Brady's protective instincts toward Rachel will conflict with his growing awareness of Kristen's dangerous influence on their daughter. He may finally recognize that Kristen's version of maternal love is actually a form of enabling that prevents Rachel from developing healthy coping mechanisms and moral boundaries. Marlena's role, professional duty versus personal relationships. Dr. Marlena Evans finds herself in an impossibly difficult position, having been instrumental in uncovering the truth about Rachel's involvement in the shooting. Her professional obligations as a psychiatrist demand that she prioritize Rachel's psychological well-being and the safety of the community. However, her personal relationships with all the involved parties create emotional conflicts that complicate her clinical judgment. Marlena's expertise in child psychology will prove invaluable in assessing Rachel's mental state and determining the most appropriate intervention strategies. She understands that inappropriate handling of this situation could cause lasting psychological damage to Rachel while potentially enabling future violent behavior. Her recommendations will carry significant weight in determining Rachel's ultimate fate. The grandmother figure that Marlena represents to Rachel adds another dimension to their therapeutic relationship. Rachel may feel betrayed by Marlena's role in exposing her secret, potentially damaging the trust necessary for effective treatment. Marlena must carefully balance her dual roles as family friend and mental health professional while advocating for the best possible outcome for everyone involved. The inevitable unraveling. Truth has a way of surfacing. Despite Kristen's elaborate schemes and manipulative tactics, the truth about Rachel's actions will eventually surface through the combined efforts of Salem's residents and their interconnected relationships. EJ's recovered memories represent just the beginning of a much larger reckoning that will force every character to confront uncomfortable truths about family, loyalty, and justice. The psychological toll on Rachel herself cannot be ignored indefinitely. Carrying the secret of shooting EJ, combined with watching Johnny face false accusations, creates an enormous burden for such a young child. Eventually, this pressure may compel her to confess, either through guilt-driven admission or therapeutic breakthrough. As this storyline continues to unfold, viewers can expect explosive confrontations, shocking revelations, and emotional reckonings that will reshape multiple character relationships permanently. The question remains, will Salem's residents choose justice or family protection when these two values inevitably conflict? The August 19th revelation marks only the beginning of what promises to be days of our lives' most psychologically complex and emotionally devastating storyline in recent memory.